Good evening everybody, this is Stephen Howson and this is my Manchester United versus Arsenal preview. Sunday looms with another massive game. Every game towards this stage of the season is absolutely huge now for Manchester United. So here's how I think we're going to line up and what we need to be looking out for against Arsenal at the Emirates come Sunday. Now Arsenal have gone with 3 at the back in the last couple of games against Spurs and against Manchester City, and I've got a feeling that they're going to try the same against Manchester United on Sunday, and I think the best way for us to counter-attack that is just go with our normal system. I don't think Jose is going to go 2 up front, 4-5 across the back. I think he's just going to play a 4-2-3-1, which could also be a 4-3-3. At the Old Trafford game, we saw that midfield 3 of Herrera, Carrick and Pogba completely bully Arsenal, and it was extremely fortunate to get away with a point which they completely did not deserve whatsoever. And I think the 3 at the back that they've been playing recently at Arsenal doesn't impress me that much. It does give them a little bit more firepower in midfield, which then gives them a little bit more of a platform to go forward. They haven't looked amazing in these games. They've looked alright without really, smashing it anywhere. So I think that Manchester United can go here and get something if we play our best team. And I don't think we're going to play our best team. I actually think Jose is going to do quite a little bit of heavy rotation. The people we need to be watching out for is obviously Sanchez and Ozil, that goes without saying, but also Giroud can come up and pop up with something quite important, which he generally has the knack of doing. But I think Sanchez is the only real threat that I think you've got to worry about. I think Ozil can go missing in these games, and I think he can be marked out of a game. Sanchez is the one that really injects a bit of excitement, a bit of passion, a bit of pace, and a real bit of cutting edge that the rest of this Arsenal team just doesn't have. We're going to find out on Sunday how much fight Sanchez has got in him and how much fight Sanchez has got for this cause and for Arsenal, because if he bottles it against United on Sunday, then it's quite obvious that he doesn't want to be there. I think it's fairly obvious that he doesn't want to be there anyway, with a whole host of suitors across Europe, Bayern Munich, one of those appearing today. I think that United need to front them up and be physical with them, but I don't know if we've got the players to be able to front them up and be physical with them. That's the conundrum that we find ourselves in, because as much as I think that if we went with our strongest team and we went to bully them and we really put it on Arsenal, I think they would crumble, and I think that Manchester United would probably win the game with ease, in all honesty, because I think it'd be entirely different to what we saw at Old Trafford in terms of just not being able to finish our chances. I think it'd be a little bit different. That being said, I don't think we're going to do that, and I think let's back up a little bit, right? Because the Europa League is so important for Manchester United at this stage. You're looking at not even 2 wins. 1 win and a draw is enough for Manchester United to get into the Champions League next season. Whereas we have to pretty much pick up a result in all of our remaining Premier League games, and then we're relying on the results of others cocking it up to get in the Champions League through the league. So for the first time this season, I think it's actually odds on now that the Europa League is going to be our best way into the Champions League. But I think at this stage of the season, we can't move all of our chips onto the Europa League table just yet, because I think there's still a chance that we can cock it up, that we can lose in the final, and we could not even progress to the final if we mess it up on Thursday. So I think what Manchester United need to do, and what Jose Mourinho might do, is put out a team which he thinks is alright, which might get a result, but he's not ultra confident of it. I don't think he's going to put everything into beating Arsenal on Sunday. I think he's going to have a half-assed attempt to beating Arsenal on Sunday, because that will keep the dream alive. If we beat Arsenal Sunday, then I think you can go, right, let's try and get something at Spurs next week, which is going to be considerably harder. But I think Manchester United, if they don't try and get something in this game, are completely calling it a day on the league. I think we have to try and get something, and then if we don't get something, we can call it a day on the league. Because I think if we lose or we draw against Arsenal at the Emirates on Sunday, the league is done. We're asking then for a couple of cock-ups from someone above us instead of just 1 cock-up. And I think that's too much to ask for at this late stage of the game. So I would say Jose Mourinho is going to put up a team which he thinks is alright. He's not going to purposely sabotage himself. He's not going to put out a completely rotated side. But he is going to have one eye on Thursday night when he sticks out his starting 11. And the starting 11, I think he will believe is good enough with tactics that he believes is good enough to go and get 3 points. But I think it's going to fail in the endeavour. And then I think Jose Mourinho will then be able to switch focus entirely onto the Europa League. And I would expect to see Manchester United field several debuts against Spurs, Southampton and Crystal Palace. Maybe not against Spurs, you might see a fairly strong team against Spurs, but ultimately I think Jose Mourinho is going to start adding to some of those youth debuts albeit a little bit too late. I don't think you're going to see Axel Tuanzebe this weekend, unfortunately. I would have really liked to have seen him, but you never know. Jose has sprung surprises on us before. He knows that everyone's banging for him to play. This might be the perfect opportunity to stick him in. So let's have a look at my starting 11 then. Here's what I'm thinking in terms of starting 11. I think David De Gea is going to be back in after Sergio Romero playing in midweek. And I think Romero keeps his place on Thursday night as well. I do think it'll be Tony Valencia. I think just to add a little bit of a fight in that back line. But it could quite easily be Darmian. If it's Valencia, then I think it's Darmian at left back. But if it's Darmian, then I think it's Ashley Young at left back. I think it's going to be dependent on whether Valencia plays. Then I think it's going to be Chris Smalling, and then I think it's going to be Daley Blind. I think Bay is going to be given a rest until Thursday, and if Blind is rested, I think you might see Axel Tuanzebe alongside Chris Smalling, but I do think that's going to be quite unlikely. In midfield then, I think you're going to see Carrick and Herrera as a midfield two if we go 4-2-3-1, with Pogba given a little bit of a free roll ahead of him. And I think Wayne Rooney and Juan Mata are brought back into the side, not to work as wingers in a traditional 4-2-3-1 sort of formation, but to be other free roll midfielders. So I think you'll see Pogba, Rooney and Mata basically given license to do what they want, and they would probably line up in this sort of formation when they're in defence. Up front, I expect to see Anthony Martial because I don't think he's going to risk anything with Marcus Rashford up front. And then I expect on the bench a selection of McTominay, probably Tuanzebe, as I don't think he's going to be starting. And then I think all the rest of them, like Willock and that, are going to be on the bench, making up the rest of the numbers. How do I see the game going down? I think if we lined up like this, I think we can look to counter-attack them using the pace of Martial. And I would look to Juan Mata and Wayne Rooney and Paul Pogba to be supplying incisive balls into the channels for Martial to isolate one of those defenders one-on-one, get round them and get some shots off against Peter Cech. And I think if Manchester United do that and we take our opportunities from set pieces like corners, which we've been quite poor at this season, I think we've got a very real chance of getting an upset here. And believe me, it will be an upset if this Manchester United team goes to Arsenal. Such is life, such is the way things are with Manchester United at the present moment in the Premier League. That being said, if we do get a result here, then that really gives Jose Mourinho a bit of a conundrum going into next Sunday against Spurs, dependent again on the result of Celta Vigo on Thursday night. This is the problem that we face ourselves with at the moment, where we go, we really don't know how Manchester United are going to line up. We don't know how they're going to react to whatever the other team's going to play up against us. And we've got such an important game every single week that we've pretty much just got to take it one game at a time. I think Jose Mourinho's probably going to take his foot off the gas a little bit. He's going to come up with some tactics because I don't think he ever likes losing to Arsene Wenger. And I think he's going to put the pressure on Wenger a little bit, really find out what this Arsenal team's made of, and I don't think it's much. But I do expect us to go with a weakened side, and I'm not predicting a Manchester United win. I think we're in for another draw. I think it's going to be 1-1, and I think that effectively will kill our Champions League hopes of making it through the Premier League. But I might have a cheeky bet on Manchester United scraping over 1-0 or 2-1 because I think that is an absolute real chance of that. That being said, this video is sponsored by Premier Punt, and you need to be checking this out because I'm giving away a signed Wayne Rooney shirt, 75 quid and 25 quid all in one video. And the reason, or the way that you can join us on that one is me and Statman Dave have got together and we've got a little bit of a league on Premier Punt. So Premier Punt is a betting app. As you can see here, you can go on all the different type of bets from what's going on in the leagues right here. You can see bets recommended just for you, and you can also find out what the top bets are from the Championship and the Premier League as well. Now, to join our league, it's completely free. All you do is you go to join a league here. You hit the code UNITED, as I'm doing right here. And then you will join Stephen Howson versus Statman Dave. To play, all you have to do is select 6 players. I've gone for 6 players, as you can see here. You choose your 6 players in a normal fantasy-style way of scoring points. It's, as I said, completely free to enter, and the winner is going to win 75 quid. Runner-up gets 25 quid, and just a random person is going to get a signed Manchester United Wayne Rooney shirt. So, as I said, you score points in the traditional ways through getting passes and tackles and goals and assists, and you lose points for getting sent off or missing penalties and all that sort of stuff. The usual fantasy league stuff. Looking to pick 6 players. These are the players that I am going for. I'm going for David De Gea of Manchester United, as well as Juan Mata. I'm going for Ander Herrera, and Paul Pogba for this. I think they're going to get goals, and I think Mata could, or at least a lot of passes and maybe a few attempts. I think Juan Mata's going to possibly chip in with a cheeky little goal. I think David De Gea's going to have a lot of shots to save, so there's my thinking behind that. For the Arsenal side, I think Koscielny and Sanchez, similar sort of thinking with those. I think they're probably going to have quite a lot of business at the back for Koscielny to deal with, and I think Sanchez is going to probably stick a goal away against Manchester United, so that's worth a little bit of a punt on him. So there you go, download Premier Punt, the link is in the description below. Hit United when you're asked for your code. Join mine and Statman Dave's league, completely free to enter. Someone's going to win 75 quid this weekend for topping the league. Second place is going to get 25 quid, and it's as simple as that. Someone random is going to pick up a Wayne Rooney signed shirt. Now go and check out Dave's video. The link for that will be in the description and in the comments below. So make sure you go and check Dave's out. Give him a load of shit in the comments. And hopefully you could be winning 75 quid. So that will do it. Make sure you download Premier Punt. The link is in the description below. Go check out what Dave's done on his channel as well. I'm sure it's absolutely garbage. Talking all sorts of stats and nonsense. I've just gone with my heart and with my head in terms of what I think is going to be picking it up. So you could win 75 quid. You could win 25 quid if you're a runner-up. Someone random's going to get a signed Wayne Rooney Manchester United shirt. Links are all in the description below. Go check out Dave's video. Check out Premier Punt. Download it. Join our league. It's completely free and you're getting free cash and all sorts of stuff for doing so. And that'll do it. Let me know in the comments what score you think this is going to be on Sunday. And do you think a loss or a draw effectively ends our Champions League hopes in the league? Because I think it does. Thank you for watching. See you in a bit.